Hello everyone, welcome to section 5.4 on the molecular formula. Our learning objective for this section is to calculate the molecular formula of a compound from the empirical formula and the molar mass. So just to start with the definition, an understanding of when we say we have a molecular formula. The molecular formula will always be a whole number multiple of the empirical formula. The empirical formula is the simplest ratio. The molecular formula is saying something about the actual way in which those atoms are connected in the molecule itself. So in some cases, the molecular formula will be larger than the empirical formula in order for that to be true. If we know the molar mass and we know the empirical formula, we can find the molecular formula. And we'll see how that works. So this is sort of an algebraic definition of what we're looking at here. The molecular formula is equal to the empirical formula times n. So we know the empirical formula already is the simplest whole number ratio. Now what is this n? This n is a ratio of the molar mass to the empirical formula mass. And we haven't talked about formally what the empirical formula mass is, but the empirical formula mass is essentially the molar mass of the empirical formula. So we take that ratio. So we know the empirical formula, we know the molar mass, we can find this, we can then find this. Okay, so we'll look at a quick example of this. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. The empirical formula of benzene is found to be CH, and the molar mass is found to be 78.12. What is the molecular formula? I'm actually giving you the empirical formula mass here. I shouldn't have to give this to you because you should be able to calculate it. So you have carbon, you have hydrogen. You look up carbon is 12.01, you look up hydrogen is 1.01, you add those together, you get 13.02. So that is something you should be able to calculate. So you've calculated the empirical formula mass, you have the molar mass, so you find that ratio of those two numbers. So you take the molar mass divided by the empirical formula mass, and in this case we get a 6. So our molecular formula is 6 times CH, so this is our empirical formula, and that would give us C6H6. So that is the molecular formula. So for benzene, this is what that looks like. We have 6 carbons and we have 6 hydrogens. So the same number of each, and it turns out that this is how it works. Now you don't have to remember this shape. This is just to show you specifically for benzene how this works. Okay, so this is a relatively short module. Feel free to ask questions on the discussion board related to this material, and if you haven't posted anything to the discussion board yet, please go ahead and do so. And remember to start your online homework as well.